NWA by Andrew Janeczek and Aidan Williams.
NWA's music was controversial. The subject matter of their songs highlighted the conflicts within the communities. Poverty, drug use, and gangs refusing to compromise the language of their lyrics. NWA shot to fame, but that was not without consequences.
Almost everyone in NWA came from a family that was very poor. The poverty rate is whatever percentage of the population that falls below the poverty level. Census figures shows that the official poverty rate was 14.5% in 2013, while during the 1970s the range was between 11.7 and 12.6%. They all lived in a small house barely getting past in life. All of them had the same dream, to get them and their families out of Compton, California, where they all grew up.
There was various amounts of problems with drugs during this era. Not so much with the group as much as just Eazy-E. He was the only one who had a criminal charge with drugs. He was a locally known dealer. He was going to jail with a charge of illegal substance, but later got bailed out.
Eazy-E was a very well-known drug dealer. He was a man with a lot of power. Eazy-E was almost caught by the police in crack houses multiple times, yet somehow he always got out or nearly escaped police custody. Eazy-E was well off money-wise with a nice 6'4" Impala before he started rapping. Because of that, Dr. Dre originally brought him in for the money, but once he heard the attitude of the other rappers, he brought in Eazy-E to take over, and they made the overnight popularity song hit Boys in the Hood.
The Police and Federal Bureau of Investigation was NWA's main focus in their songs. They expressed their feeling about them in peaceful protest by writing lyrics of songs on their way to fame. The officers were always out for them, so they thought.
Gang activity has been a long-lasting problem in South Central LA. There are over 450 active gangs in Compton, with 45,000 people in the gangs or who are somehow involved with the gang. Once you're in a gang, it is very hard to get out. In the gangs, people consider you a loyalty to the gang. And if you try to get out or leave the gang, you are considered a liability because you know the secrets of the gang and you could easily turn them into the cops.
How does one get involved in a gang?
I think that typically people get involved in gangs because they have a bad home life and they need to feel a sense of belonging, and so they search for friends that will help them belong, and most people are involved in gangs, and that's how.
When and how did you first get exposed to drugs and gangs?
I think I've never really been exposed to gangs. I've heard of people being in gangs, but as far as drugs go, I was exposed to drugs many years ago when I was a paramedic.
Is it still a problem?
Gangs are still a problem, yes, and I think that they're more prominent than people realize.
Hey, yo.
Remember where you...
Someone get out of a gang or get help.
It's very difficult to get out of a gang. Most people are not able to get out of a gang, and if they do, they have to go into like witness protection or go into hiding.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What is worse in Colorado? Drug use or gang activity?
Drug use was really bad, but now it's worse with the legalization of marijuana. So it's drugs.
Short-term effects were prominent at their concerts, recording studios, and many other places where the group had a mark. NWA had a career full of them. Conflict and effects were prominent during their careers. Whether it is violence at the concerts like a fight or just inspiring a kid to rap in his room or breeding a popular rapper today. Fight broke out for various reasons. People's emotions and thoughts changed highly from these concerts because of the words being spread. Long-term effects also happened to them. Even though they peacefully protested the point they were trying to get through, it worked very well. They caused the modern-day Black Lives Matter protests, and even though the last song they released was over 20 years ago, making them still relevant is crazy. They were one group who made life-changing differences to some people. NWA was known as a tough group, but they compromised a lot more than you would think. With being famous, every time something got thrown their way, they had to know exactly what to do. They often got shut down by police at concerts and had to go to the next city when they were on tour. If they didn't, it would result in arrest because they didn't listen to the orders of the officers. Lots of the time, they had to make a clean version of the music as well. When it was being produced, the producers had to tape a clean version because of the wide variety of people who enjoyed their tracks. With the fame, the conflict always needs a compromise to end the way that people would want it to.
Jerry Heller was the manager of them. They had to make a compromise with Jerry as well. He did cheat the group with the money intake. He took more than the group combined, but they were still rich. With the trust they had with him, they didn't think he would do that, but he was still unfair. It was the reason some of them split up. Every single person agreed to the contract except for Ice Cube.
NWA inspired rap and were huge pioneers of it. A couple of the people besides NWA who were also pioneers of the subject rap were Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. Without them, the subject of music known as rap or R&B wouldn't be as big as it is today. Some modern-day rappers whose bars took inspiration from NWA are Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, Migos, and many other popular present-day rap artists.